بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وزدنا علما اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وأنت تجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and I return wa alaikum salam to all of you who greeted me. I wanted to talk about something that I think is very important in relation to our religion and how we acquire religion. And our past, our present, and our future. And I think I'm going to talk about this over the next few scattered thoughts, because the scattered thoughts I have on this are like, they're vast and they're kind of connected. And I just don't have enough time in one morning, and I'm not going to take 1 hour to talk about them. But there are certain things that I notice that during my lifetime, if I can be of some help in changing the state of African American Muslims, Black Muslims, and by that, changing the state of Muslims in general, I really would like to do that. Everybody has a context within which they work. And what I see when I look at the condition of African American Muslims in the United States, particularly Black Muslims, I'm very hopeful from the side of Allah, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. But I'm very concerned from my side as a human being, as a Black man in America. So there's two folds. From the side of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, I realize Allah fa'alun lima yurid. He does whatever he wills. And I understand that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala has eternally willed that the believer will be successful, that Islam will prevail over everything else. From Allah's side, I understand that, I believe it, I'm convinced. Now, from our side, that doesn't mean that we're going to be the people who do all that, or we're going to be the people that's going to be a part of all of that. So that means from Allah's side, belief, iman, success is all a favor and generosity from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All of it. Right? So whatever good we get is from Allah. We understand that. Fadlun min Allah. It is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's generosity. Well known. And no matter what we do, if Allah eternally willed to give us, we're going to receive. Khalas, that's it. However, that doesn't negate that we have a responsibility and work to do. And we have to take some roles, some initiative roles, active participants in our own success. So, from our side, there's a concern. Are we doing enough? And if I take the example of our great scholars, the answer is absolutely not. And we should be careful with form without reality. And we shouldn't settle for just the form without reality. So we have sometimes a form. We dress like Muslims, we pray like Muslims, we do all the outward things of Muslims, but still we find ourselves in a struggle where the reality of Islam is not embodied in us like it should be. Not it doesn't exist at all, like it should be. Let's look at it from another side. You have, which the scholars said, complete Iman, complete faith, and you have deficient faith, right? So you have a complete believer and you have a sinful believer. Both are believers, but they're not at the same rank, right? So you have the one who is mu'min and you have the one who is fasiq. The mu'min meaning he practices his faith. The fasiq, he believes but doesn't practice, right? So there are levels. And for us, we should be striving to be at the high level of our practice. And to get there, there is a well-trodden path that we must learn. I want to share this with you. Sometimes I get excited just thinking about it. It really disturbs me, right? It does. I look at it, it's so disturbing that, like, maybe when you see me and you see I get all like, because it disturbs me. But I realize, take it down, just relax. So I had a warning this morning before I left out the house. Take it down, take it down. I hate racism, seriously. I hate racism. But it's so abundant among Muslims against Black people. It has so many signs. It has so many uh, levels and layers. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Subhanallah. You know what? Selena, you're right. That's how I feel. Right? We have become complacent with what is wrong. Like we see it, but we remain silent and we just go along to get along, even though we know it's wrong. And what's worse is that the perpetrators of their racism take advantage of our complacency. Right? It is as if, excuse my language, it is as if they saying these niggas are stupid. Excuse the language, but that's how it sounds to me, even though they don't use the words. These niggas are stupid. Man, it disturbs me. Inside, it boils my blood because we're not stupid. We're not stupid. We are very smart people. We are amazing people. But we sleeping. That is true. We're sleeping. We're almost in a coma. We sleeping so much. And we have to change. We have to. How many of you watched the series? Let me take you down, Sister Selena, but you're so correct. Watch that series the last 3 days or 4 days. I think it was 3. No, 4 days, maybe. I don't know. The Muhammad Ali series on PBS. I really enjoyed it. How many of y'all watched that? Did you see it? It was very good. You know what was I liked about, and it was empowering about that documentary? To see Black people in action on all levels, right? On all levels. I think it was the best uh, film about Ali, Muhammad Ali, and about that era that I've seen in a long time. Very powerful. Had so many Jews in it. I would suggest all of you watch it and pay attention to it. It was on PBS, I think 4 parts. Man, it was strong. But you saw what I like to call Black excellence without knowledge. Black excellence without knowledge. Imagine, when I mean knowledge, I mean the proper Islamic understanding of the deen. But you saw Black excellence. And I think, and I don't think, I know we need to return to that Black excellence with proper Islamic knowledge. And the first thing we got to do, we have to free ourselves from being a colonized people with a colonized mindset by others. We need the return of the Black Masjid. I say it just like that, no apology. We need the return of the Black Masjid. And let me tell you why. If you don't return the Black Masjid, we're going to be extinct in Islam as a people. We're going to be extinct. We're not going to count at all. I've had several notable imams, notable, famous. I'm not going to mention them here, but they're famous. And anyone who goes to their masjid understand what they was telling me. They said they fear that when they die, their masjid that were traditionally ran by African Americans will no longer be ran by African Americans. I want you to think about it. These were established by African Americans. African Americans fought, went to prison, struggled to maintain those masajid, and now those masajid are ran by other than African Americans. And if the leaders go away, the immigrants and the foreigners will take over the masjid and run the blacks out. Think about that. Now, these are two famous imams. And here, I want to say something because I know it ain't just African Americans who listen to me. I want us to fight for the rights of African American Muslims like we fight for the rights of Palestinians. Okay? Let's look at it that way. I want us as Muslims, as the Ummah of Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to fight for the rights of African American Black Muslims like we fight for the rights of Palestinians or Syrians or others who are oppressed and being subjugated around the world. If we really love Islam, that's the challenge for you. Don't brush us off by saying, oh, he's on some racist rant. Nah, you know what I'm saying is true. You watch it. What are you going to do about it? I want some khutbahs about the condition of African American Muslims and their communities and the decrease of their masjids and their leadership and their voice on the national stage. Give some speeches about that. You know what the white man did in America? You should take a page out their book. They still do their oppression. But what they did do is they started to change some of the ways they do some of their bad practices. Hence, you have Black mayors, Black governors, Black CEOs, Black schools, institutions, a push for Black business. I was watching American Express. They got this thing to support Black businesses. They did things, they did, what is that called? My mother used to do that. Affirmative action. They did all these things realizing that there has been an injustice. Forget the result of them. We're talking about they were implemented, right? These different programs. I believe we need the same thing and within our masajid and within our Islamic organizations. You've built a legacy and a future for yourselves off the hard work of Black people in general, and then specifically Black Muslims. And you've not given anything back. and you continue to take. This is general, not specific. Because there are Muslims who are good Muslims who say we're all brethren, and they live like that. It's not just talk. We're all brethren. We're all brothers and sisters in Islam, and that's how we live. There are people like that. And may Allah make them more and make all of us like that. But it's not enough. And the condition is worse. They had a Muslim census of masjids. They just did it. Maybe tomorrow I'll find it and show it to you. I showed it to you before. And in there, they talked about the decline of African-American masajid. And the condition of the decline of African-American leadership. And they listed factors. And a lot of the factors was immigration and immigrants coming into those masjids and taking out the resources and moving them to the suburbs. This is real stuff. And I just think about this stuff a lot. And there is not a push from our side to change that current. Yeah, these are real scattered thoughts. This is not all of what I wanted to talk about. That's why I said it's going to take a couple days. That's a good question, Sister Majida. I don't believe personally, I don't believe that's going to work. I think it needs to be African-American Muslims to get their stuff together. If we mix, we are a specific people. The idea of we're going to go to Africa, all you have to do, if you be honest with yourself, look at the relationship with the Africans from Africa and their relationship with African Americans on the ground in America, and you'll see that's not going to work. In general, don't talk about specific cases, right? Because there's always exception to the general rule, right? There's always exception to the general rule, right? But we're talking about the general rule. The Africans, they stick together and they don't count us among them. We don't even say we all from Africa. They don't even look at us from Africa. They don't. Unless they have, in general, a specific need for us. And then they'll give us a token African lineage that they accept for their purpose. It's always an aim. It's not pure just we are brothers. It doesn't work like that. If that was the case, they wouldn't have their own masjids, and they have their own masjids. That's just true. I've been around, so you can't tell me that's not the case, because I've been around. I'm not speaking on something I don't know. I can point it out all over the place, right? I'll give you what happened here in Masjid Muhammad to show you it. Here's what happens. Let me tell you something. I'm Imam Amin, so I see this stuff. I see it all around, and I'm just the way I am, so like it or not, right? Listen, Every time we do something, I'm talking about here in the masjid, we do a major fundraiser. You know what they do? The Pakistanis come together, the Bangladeshis come together, the Arabs come together, the Africans come together, and they donate as a block. You heard what I said? Only the African Americans, one donation, one donation, one donation. Everybody else, whenever there's a major project, they donate in blocks. Not individually. They don't come, here's individually, here's my donation. Here. No, they come, here's the donation from the Pakistanis. Here's the donation from the Bengalis. Here's the donation from the Africans. Here's the donation from the Arabs. This is what they do. And you know me, I'm kind of straightforward. Wait a minute, aren't y'all individuals? What you mean here's the donation from our people? Who the hell is our people? Ain't we all in the same masjid? No, we're not. Y'all in the same masjid. We a group. Think about that. Do you hear what I just said? Now, this ain't unique. This is a small town. You go to other towns, they got their own masjids. Let me speak personally, because I can speak personally and I can easily give the point, and then you can, by way of analogy, see if it fits what I'm talking about. So the Africans come to me one day. They get all together. It's a group of them. They say, Imam Amin, we need to talk to you. Who the heck is we? It's a whole group of Africans. They got a big envelope with thousands of dollars in it. So they said, we just want to talk to you, Imam. I said, that's never going to happen. So I called security, right? I said, come on, we got to go talk to the Africans. Now, I should be saying we're going to talk to the members of they come. They're part of the community. I tell them this, so this is not like, I tell them this. So they start talking to me. They're like, yeah, Imam, we want to help. We want to do this. We want to do this. I'm like, I mean, I know games, so I'm just listening. We want to help. We want to do. I said, listen, why y'all just didn't give donations and put it in the box? Why y'all need to meet with me? Oh, we want to show you as a people what we're doing. We are one Muslim ummah. Just put the money in the box. Why do you need to talk to me? So they give the envelope. So before I take the envelope, I say to them, I said, ho, brakes. I said, if this is money is for your community, keep it. I don't want it. We don't need it. And you should have saw the faces. They like, he got us. That's the faces they had, like, damn, he caught us. He ain't going for it. I said, if this is about your community, inside of our community, keep the money. We don't want it. Now they caught. No, Imam, we didn't mean that. We didn't mean that. We don't mean that. Please, no strings attached. No strings attached. I said, listen, no strings attached. So then they can't take the money back because it's like, they like, if we take the money, we will hook. Do you know I've never seen that group again? Only individuals. There were so many of them, but now only a handful of them. I mean, they come, but just a few. The ones who were leading the push, I don't even see them anymore. I don't see them at all. The ones who were leading the the delegation. I don't see them. I haven't seen them, and this was years ago. Tell me what I witnessed. The Pakistanis did the same thing. Gave them some leeway. They changed the masjid's name and put flyers out with a new name of the masjid. You can't make this stuff up. I'm serious. The Bengalis, they had a school, and the Egyptians, the Arabs. No, this is just real facts. And I'm telling you why I feel the way and I say these things I say. And they know me, I say it to them. Because it is what it is. You can't, listen, it's racism and you can't tell me it ain't. You know, we have a saying in our language, you're not going to urinate on me and tell me it's raining. That's not going to happen. You're not going to urinate on me and tell me it's raining. That's not going to happen. They had a school just 10 years ago. So you can use it by way of analogy. And I just see it too much. And like, hey, we got to do something about this. They had school, weekend schools. The Arabs had one, and so did the Bengalis. They had between them hundreds of children. No black children in none of the schools. In a black African-American dominated masjid. No African Americans in the school. Not one. They ran on a Saturday. It was all Arabs, no blacks, nobody else. On Sunday, all Bengalis, nobody else. In a predominantly African-American masjid. And not giving no money to the masjid. This was before I was the imam. When I became the imam, I said, y'all got to give double. First of all, the numbers y'all have is beyond what you're supposed to have in the building. And y'all not even, one was given $150 a month, and the other was given $300 a month, and they were charging the kids between $25 to $30 a month each kid. Let's do the math. You got at least 50 kids or more with the Egyptians and way more than that with the Bengalis. So 30 times 50 is 1,500. You're giving the masjid, using their facilities, their liability, everything's on them, and you give them $150 out of 1,500 minimum. You got like 100. That's what you're giving the masjid. And you don't come to the masjid except for your school on the weekend. So your numbers, you got teachers, you got everything. None of you come to the masjid except for your school. I'm just telling you what happens. Right? Then, I'm not finished. So I tell them, I say, listen, this got to stop. The masjid needs support. The masjid needs money. And y'all have to help. The masjid needs to build. and you have to help. Excuse me 1 second. Right? So I said, I'm doubling y'all donation because it ain't no rent. That's because that's not rent. It's donation. You having all these kids, the usage ain't even what y'all paying. The usage for the masjid, for gas and electric and the utilities, y'all ain't even paying for y'all share of that. So I'm doubling it. 300 for you, 600 for you. I tell you no lie. They come to me with crocodile tears. I don't know if y'all know what some of y'all know what crocodile tears are. Fake. Oh, we poor. We don't got no money. We can't. Oh, you're cruel. You're taking away from the kids. Now, remind you, there's not one African-American kid in none of the schools. Not one. Not one. Oh, how could you do this? I went from brother to sheikh. I was brother before that. Sheikh, Imam, how could you do this? I was brother Amin before. Now I'm sheikh. Right? And so I said, no, y'all got to help. You should see them. There was like a delegation in my office. Men, women. I'm like, y'all women don't even talk. How did they get in here talking to now? I'm just being honest. I said, nope, that's it. Final. They went to the board. Oh, you got to talk to him. Board come to me. I said, nope, final. Why? Y'all been letting them take advantage of the masjid, and you're poor, and they're got a bunch of money, and you're suffering. And they're going to leave you. They're going to leave you with the tab. They're going to come to your restaurant, eat. They're going to leave you with the bill. No, double the rent. And it ain't a rent. Double their contribution. What did they do? They say they can't pay. They don't have no money. Wait a minute, I'm not finished. We don't have no money. You're being cruel. You're unjust. Bad imam. Bad brother. Okay. What did they do? The Egyptians, within 3 months, not even 3 months, less, they found their own building, built their own place, and established a full-time school, which they didn't invite black folks to. That's what they did. Within 3 months, they got a building, full-time school, paid staff, but they couldn't give the black people $150 a month. Within 3 months. Did you hear what I just said? Within 3 months, they got a new building, full-time school, paid staff, but they couldn't give the African-American masjid $150. How should I think about that? How should I think about that? The Bengalis who were in here crying, I never forget about them, crocodile tears. They built, well, they didn't build. They took an old ambulance warehouse, ambulance, and they built a $500,000 renovation. $500,000 renovation. Started their school, started their community, and they couldn't give the Black Masjid $300. They did that in less than a year. But they couldn't give. They could raise $500,000 for themselves, but they couldn't pay the equivalent of $3,600 for the Black Masjid to support. Or added up $7,200 with my raise. With me saying make it $7,200. But you couldn't get $7,200, but you found $500,000. No, we're not supposed to say anything about this. Let me go to you more. Tell me something. You can go and look and see this happening. The Arabs would be in the inner city, in some cities that I know. The blacks saved their money, put all their resources, built Masjid. They built up, they got business, they moved to the suburbs, built a state-of-the-art masjid and school, and left the blacks in poverty. And you go in the blacks, their bathrooms, the masjid, make you want to cry. While the foreigners, immigrants, took all the resources, all the money, and built a state-of-the-art everything. And then left the blacks to themselves with little funding and looked despicable in the heart of the black community. So, and this is in different cities. I could go around. I could go on this all day. And none of us see nothing wrong with this stuff. Imam Amin's a racist? Really? You don't see nothing wrong with what I just described to you? You don't see nothing wrong with that? You don't see that we need to have issue with that and we need to do something? Hey, I'm not asking you to do anything. You should, but even if you don't, we must do something. Listen, even if the other communities, because they are communities, let's accept it. Don't act like it's not the case. If the other communities don't want to work and cooperate with you and help you build, you must do it yourself. And guess what? That's fine. You must do it yourself. So, no, I'm not saying, oh, woe is us. You got, you should. Islamically, we're all one nation. So you should do it. But even if you don't, we must do it. We must do it. We must. It's obligatory upon us to save ourselves by the Quran. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ku anfusakum wa ahlikum. That's an obligation. That's a command. Save yourselves and your families. So everyone else does it. Why, when we think about it, is treated as if it's among the kaba'ir, among the major sins. And I had a person tell me, and I never forget it. Maybe sometimes it's better not to tell me stuff. Right? I can't take it. one of those people who built their leadership in the Black community went to the Black people who follow us and told them, I don't want to lose y'all to the Blacks. What the hell is that? I did, like, for the life of me, I don't understand how we think the way, like, I don't want to lose y'all to the Blacks. Damn. Excuse me. Really? I'm Black. I'm African American. I don't want to lose y'all to the Blacks. Stop listening to that guy. Damn. Really? You serious? If I ever get an opportunity to have a talk with that person, I'm going to rip him to shreds. If I ever get an opportunity to have a one-on-one with that guy, I'm going to rip him to shreds. I would suggest he never get in a conversation with me. I'm going to rip him to shreds. That's personal. And I say don't post it. That is personal. That's personal. But this is our condition. And here's for us. We can't pass this on to our children. No. No. We have babies. We have grandbabies, great-grandbabies. We can't do this to them. No, we cannot. We have to change the narrative. We cannot do it. Absolutely not. And I know some of us, it's just entertainment. Some of us, we got our popcorn and, man, go ahead, Imam, kick it. But some of us, we need to be serious. And we need to start working together to build our communities across the country, one by one, by one, by one. We need a return of African-American communities that are well-financed, that are organized, that are learned, and that have a bright future. That's our responsibility. We have to do it. One by one. We have to do it. It's serious stuff. That's just my scattered thoughts. And they open for debate. I mean, listen, because some people say, well, you got the platform. You're welcome to come on and we could discuss it. It's open. Let's have the discussion. I don't care who it is. Listen, don't think I have the platform and you can't talk. We can talk. Let's talk about this issue. I'll invite you on. We can go at it. I'm not hiding. It's public. I'm not running. I'm not like this is live. It goes all around the world. Anyone can hear it. Anyone can listen. Anyone can plug in. You're welcome. I'm not going to run because I believe what I'm saying is true. And if you're saying what I'm saying is wrong, then show me. I'm a man. I like truth. So if I'm wrong, I'll accept. But if you're wrong, I want you to accept. And I want you to work with me to change it. Because I'm going to call you on it. Don't do the backdoor, lobbying. Go find weak Blacks and tell them, listen, hey, Negro, I'll give you a position. Forget the rest of y'all, but I'll give you a position. You come with me here, Negro. Here's a carrot for you. Well, I know that game. I know that game because that's what happens. So you go around lobbying to the other Blacks. Let me pick him off. Let me pick him off. Let me pick him off and try to gather our forces with you to come against us. Deep. Let me gather black folks to come against black folks. Let me repeat that. For you black folks who are being gathered to come against black folks. Let me change it. You Ahl Sunnah black Muslims who are being gathered to come against Ahl Sunnah black Muslims. Don't forget when they didn't give you anything. Now, all of a sudden, that a voice is speaking out on your behalf, all of a sudden, they want to give you something. That's delusional. Make them give you real something. Make them get out the way and you be in charge. How about that? You want to give me something? I don't want a teaching position. I want real authority. I want to make decisions. And guess what? If you make decisions, the whole thing going to be different. That's why they're not going to let you make no decisions. Because if you're left to negotiate on your own behalf, it's going to look totally different. So they won't allow you to make no negotiation. You yourself, as a black leader, you stand up and you do it. Don't ask for no permission. You do it. And if you can't do it, that should tell you you need your own. If you can't independently, as a people, get what is in your best interest, you need your own. You should be able to talk like me. Why not? You should be able to talk just like me. Because you know how, before you started acting like an Arab, before you started acting like someone else, you were from the hood. You know how to talk. You know how to communicate. Some of you were criminals, you know how to do, you know how to move. Why all of a sudden you got the most powerful way of life in the world and you're passive and you can't move? Explain that. To people, if they was in your environment before Islam, you would eat them for breakfast. You're surrendering to a people before Islam, if they was in your environment, you would eat them for breakfast. Now they're bossing you around, having you go against your own people. I think y'all got my point. That's part one. Tomorrow, part two, part three coming. I have a lot to get off my chest because I want to see a change. I do, honestly. I want to see a change. I am sick and tired of looking at us as a defeated people. Look, I don't accept at all. We can't even run our organizations without their approval. And that's partly our fault because we don't support our own. And it's not division. If you want true unity, you're going to have an initial separation. If you want true unity, you're going to have an initial separation because no one's going to respect you until you get your own. That's just the way it is. I've been watching. That's the way it is. That's the way it is. It's sad. It make you want to cry, but it is what it is. As we say, it is what it is. And we have to do something about it. Now, whoever would disagree with that, then I would say to you, we should have a conversation and tell me why. And show me how it works. because it hasn't been working. The numbers, the facts, the statistics show what we've been doing is not working for us. It's working for you. Yeah, you're prospering based on our low status. But for us, we losing. We losing big time. We losing our children. We losing our masjids. We're losing our institutions. We're losing our businesses. In fact, we're buying our food from other than us. We got people selling us stuff they don't even eat. And we praising them. And as a Muslim, I don't care where you're from, that stuff should bother you. As a Muslim, this should bother you. Like, this ain't right. Tayyib, let me go. Inshallah, we'll come back tomorrow. We have post-Fajr reflections. Barakallahu fikum. Wa jazakumullahu khaira. Wa sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.